Morning, welcome to JoyNews. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle on DTT because we're free to on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 125. Coming up this morning, National Media Commission flags programs of 13 TV stations following complaints about pornographic content, occultic practices, and money doubling. We have a conversation with the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association in the wake of the NMC sanctions. Also this morning, Occupy Ghana and the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining mounts pressure on government to pass a law that prohibits licensing of mining firms to engage mineral prospecting and forest reserves. We have details of the joint statement issued on their call. Plus, recent attacks on judges and the judiciary affecting justice delivery in the country. That's the worry of the Chief Justice as she identifies weak security arrangement in the courts to ensure safety of the judiciary. Details from her engagement with the Ghana Police Management Board. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. Please stay for details. This morning, the National Media Commission has flagged programs of 13 TV stations after receiving more than 318 complaints. The National Media Commission and the National Communications Authority, in a joint monitoring report for the month of October, described the situation as staggering. The complainants reported some of the TV stations were showing pornography, occultic practices, and money doubling content. The statement reads, and I'll be sharing excerpts of that statement with you. It's coming right on the screen. We'll be sharing that statement with you. But yes, so that's what we have on the screens. It says, as part of our monitoring to ensure that there is quality of the staff that come on your screens, it says that we are using the National Communications Authority launched a joint project on October 31 to identify and address deficits in broadcast content. Using community standard approach, the project democratized the involvement of citizens by highlighting their voice in regulatory interventions, and it has mentioned some of the TVs. It says through the toll-free number, citizens are empowered to call to the monitoring center. Our half month report shows public had concerns about 318 incidents on television, made up of 224 money doubling incidents, 83 money rituals, 24 fake lotteries, 18 occultic practices, 13 fake loan schemes, and people seeking to use fraudulent means to extract money from others. And it has named the stations here: Osumafo TV, Adwempa TV, Eagle TV, Best TV, Energy TV, Diamond TV, X TV, Asumdwe TV, and the rest. In addition to the above complaints from citizens, the Commission's own professional assessment revealed 2 dangerous broadcasts with implications for national cohesion that demanded immediate regulatory intervention. While one of them involving Power FM has been resolved, the other involving Onua TV Radio remains outstanding. The Commission will announce its decision on that matter soon. And it says that we commend the leadership and staff of the National Communications Authority for the unwavering cooperation in this project. We also commend the GJA, the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association and Civil Society, the Media Foundation for West Africa for their demonstrated commitment to quality of broadcasting, and says we encourage all citizens to join hands in uplifting the quality of broadcasting in Ghana. I've been joined by Cecil Sonkwa Mills. He's the president of the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association, GIBA. How does news of 13 TV stations flagged for engaging in all manner of things, including money doubling, money rituals, fake lotteries, occultic practices, pornography, how does all of this come across to you?
Thank you for having me. I think after the launch, this is the new direction that we are heading. And I think we're part of the launch, and we are seeing that something is coming out of it. It's good to see that there is some action of identifying actually these infractions. What we have done on our side, well, the release came yesterday. We have reached out to the NMC because one of the things that we indicated during the launch was we wanted to see exactly the steps of action that will be taken and the process, and also the parties who were involved in executing this process so that it is fair and very transparent and impactful. So we're waiting for the NMC to clarify the steps for dealing with these stations based on the offenses, and then how we will be part and make sure that we and the GJA are also involved in making sure that this is done fairly. At the same time, the other thing is on our part as GIBA, we have a code of ethics, and we will see that during the launch, it was actually a key part of what was mentioned to be used to bring some sanity in the airwaves. So internally, we've got the list. We'd also proceed to look at what the code of ethics say, and then we would proceed on that path. But in the meantime, we're waiting for the NMC to come back to us, and then we'll discuss the way forward.
Do you actually believe that the NMC will deal with this? I'm saying this because last year when some teenagers committed murder and admitted that they were influenced by some ritualists they watch on TV, the information minister, the NMC, the NCA all promised to deal with this canker. But here we are witnessing more of this. So many are concerned that, I mean, the regulator, NMC, NCA, and government have not been firm enough over the period. And this has led to what we are witnessing now. I mean, who would you blame for this?
Well, I mean, we've always known that a lot of the laws and some of the regulations are a bit outdated, and it does not give them the opportunity to deal with it. They have said that there still are laws in the country that they can use to manage this situation. So that is why we want to sit down and look at how this is done. We had proposed that we actually bring on board a new law, which was the broadcasting law through the broadcasting bill, which would have encompassed this, giving a united front between the NCA and the NMC in terms of what should happen when such things do occur. It hasn't happened. We have asked for it a number of times in our speeches, and whenever there was the possibility, it hasn't happened. So in the interim, that is why we said, okay, if now you're going to identify these infractions, let's sit around the table and tell us exactly how you chart this path. Because I bet the reasons why the regulator could not bite was that I guess the laws sometimes they questioned it themselves. But let's see how we can do this. We have code of ethics, but ethics is ethics. Okay, it may not be law. It may not necessarily run into certain aspects they want. But let's see what we can create around the table. So once they brought us on board, including GJ and Primpact, let's discuss and see what will happen. We want to look out for the positive of the country. So once the attempt has been made, we'll go along and see how far we go.
Cecil Sonkwa Mills is president of GIBA. I'm grateful for your time this morning. Also this morning, Occupy Ghana and the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining has called on government as a matter of urgency to enact an act that forbids the Minerals Commission from granting any mining or drilling permit, license or lease or any other associated activities in all forest reserves and significant biodiversity areas. It follows the Minerals Commission denial of a license request by a mining company to mine in the Kakum National Park. Let's check out the joint statement issued by the two pressure groups, and that is coming right there on your screens. It says that Occupy Ghana and Media Coalition Against Galamsey were considerably concerned at the news that some mining rights had been granted or recognized over the Kakum forest. We have noted the Minerals Commission's updated letter, which said indeed they had received such an application. Now, the press release did not say whether the application was for reconnaissance or prospecting license, whether this high street company had acquired other permits from either the Forestry Commission or Environmental Protection Agency. The Minerals Commission's rejection of the application and assurance that no mineral rights shall be considered or granted in that park gives us little or no comfort, because mining operations have taken place in Ghana in our forest reserves behind the Minerals Commission by persons who claim to have obtained other permits from the Forestry Commission and or EPA. And so we believe that Ghana needs a simple legislative fiat that says we do not mine or drill in our forest reserves. We therefore invite Parliament as a matter of urgency to pass an act that forbids the grant of any mining or drilling permit, license or lease or any other associated activity in all forest reserves and significant biodiversity areas. This will mean revoking the so-called Environmental Protection Regulation LI 2462, that's the mining and forest reserves, and the power it gives to the president to give written approval to a mining company to undertake mining activities in a global significant biodiversity area. And that statement also says to ensure that government does not evade the aims and proposed law by simply revoking the status of current forest reserves. This would require the amendment of the Forest Act 1927 to take away the power of the president to do this simply by issuing an executive instrument. To this end, we also demand the express revocation of ill-fated forests, which purported to revoke the forest reserve status of the Achimota forest. Let's cross over to Aqua Safari and listen to our team that is there on this.
So, welcome back to the Aqua Safari. And look, Aisha, I know you'll be jealous of me today, but please allow me the space. Because really, look, I'm standing by a donkey. He's feeding, or it is feeding right by my feet, huh? Oh, and you have to be here. These are some of the reasons why you need to be here, because you are interacting with nature. Proper nature, not artificial. So this one, we're calling him Nico. So Nico, that's for you. I'm still here with David Malike. He is the general manager for this resort. I'm seeing these beautiful chalets. What is inside, and how much do I have to cough up to enjoy this?
So our chalets are 2-bedroom apartments or cabins. They have a living room, a very large one, or very big one at that. And then also, I mean, when it comes to what is inside, when you go into our rooms, everything you find there is antique and it's made in Aqua Safari by Aqua Safari artisans. So you can talk about the table, talk about the bed, talk about the lamp. The lamp is made by a company which also uses recycled materials to make it. And it's also an indigenous company. It's made here in Ghana. So, I mean, you see things like, for instance, the ball joint of a vehicle, which naturally would have been sold as scrap, and that is being used into a set which makes a bedside lamp, or makes a steady lamp, or a living room lamp. I mean, the place has been set up to be that tasteful for the guest. Talking about the cost or how much it costs to be in the chalet.
I mean, once it is there, people should know that at least, and it's not too expensive, I'm told.
It's not too expensive. The chalet for a night is 10,000 cedis.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. We are seeing the aquarium on the screens now.
Yes.
These are beautiful fishes.
Yes.
What's happening? Explain to us what's happening.
So again, it is part of our drive to bring people closer to nature. If you are coming to Aqua Safari, just as the name suggests, it means that anything which helps you to have a real feel of nature and of life must be put into the ecosystem. I mean, not everyone can go close to the river and be lucky enough to see fish. And so if we can recreate that experience and let guests see fishes and a wide variety of them also, why not? I mean, if you go into a river, you'll probably be seeing a lot of maybe tilapia and edible stuff. These are all ornamental fishes. So we have the goldfishes to my left. To my right, we have the red belly pacos. I mean, very, very nice, very colorful, which help you to relax. I mean, it's a very pleasant interaction once it has to do with walking around. And sometimes even what you see alone can be enough of activity without having to go on your horse ride or go for a boat ride. I mean, this is our garden stream, which is right in front of the conference room.
This is beautiful.
We have the albino sharks. We have two of that, and then we have an albino gourami. Those are fishes which try to lounge in darker areas. So it's actually nested somewhere under one of the stone slabs. They like to survive in such environments. This is all man-made, but made to fit into the ecosystem. What you see as stone is stone. What you see as water is water, and very clean one at that. What you see as fish is fish. We don't have anything artificial around here. I mean, we've recreated the environment to make them feel as though they were in their natural habitat, and that is the beauty and the pain we put into ensuring that this is happening. And at the end of it, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's nice, and that is what we want to give to the guests.
I mean, this is really nature at its peak, really. Look at the setting, in front of the rooms. You have the peacocks all feeding around, making it look so beautiful. You have these beautiful ornamental plants here. It's just exciting. But your sharks, if they grow too big, won't you be worried?
So the beauty about aquatic life is that they never grow bigger than the environment you put them in. And so they can be there for the next 10 years, and the growth in size will not be that significant. I mean, this place has also been made so that guests can come sit around, put their leg in the water, and then really enjoy the fishes moving around.
The fish will be moving around your leg?
Yes, and you can actually also hand feed them. We allow that also. So we allow guests to have that kind of very close interaction with nature. With nature, yes. All of this is for the guest consumption, and this is also made by a Ghanaian. A Ghanaian. So we really have a footprint and an impact on the local community. I mean, and if a Ghanaian can do it, why go out for that?
Okay.
It is built by a Ghanaian company, wholly owned. A Ghanaian company.
Okay, so this is a Ghanaian company for a Ghanaian company. Really, really exciting. And look, if you are going through stress and you come to Aqua Safari, one of the things that happen to you is that you are able to de-stress. Because look, if you're watching all of these aquatic fishes in their natural habitat, you're seeing this overturned canoe auditorium, you're seeing this greenery and these rocks. Well, look, it puts you at ease and at peace with your inner self, and that's why it's important that you leave the stress of the city, come here, unwind, and re-energize for the next activities. That's why you need to be here. We've said enough. You've seen enough. Nothing should tell you should convince you more to be here. But what are these also? How different are they?
So these are superior rooms. Okay. Yes, they are the next category of rooms from the standard rooms. Okay. They are rooms built to have balconies, and as usual, you can see our footprint. Trying to use a lot of the wood we use here is what others will consider waste wood or off-cut wood, and yet we are able to make it again with the best of artisans to put it together into such beautiful edifices. So, I mean, these are also very We have 60 of these ones. Okay. 60 of these ones, and they are all nested around the conference room. Behind it, we have the creek. In front of it, of course, we have the guardian stream, and then the conference room. These are mainly double occupancy rooms. And for as low as 2,500, we can get in and really, I mean, imagine sitting on your balcony watching the river or the water flow, and then with all the aquatic life in there.
Well, so whilst we have Christmas fast approaching, and these are beautiful rooms, I'm interested in the chalet there. Any special packages for your clients?
Yes. All you have to do is to either visit our website at aquasafariresort.com, or you can call us directly on 054 011 0190, and we'll be able to run you through every package available so that you can quickly lock up a spot before it's all run out.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's still take you around for you to see some of the things here. So are these same things that I'll see when I go to Aqua Safari? They call it Safari Valley. Are these the same thing?
Yeah. So Aqua Safari has a theme around water. The Safari Valley has its theme around the natural resource and then animals. Okay. And so when you come here because you're a lover of water and you are enthused about everything that water has to give. When you go to Safari Valley, we've also tried to nest into that ecosystem a bit of the water habitat, but majority of it has to do with the wildlife, the trees, the plants, and the wildlife there are ones you can interact with on a very close range basis without having to worry about risking your life or risking. I mean, there are times when people wake up and then they see fallow deers on their balconies. I mean, they come there, feeding around. Very beautiful scenery. I mean, we have wildebeest, we have zebras, we have the mares. I mean, we have them in leaps and bounds there.
I won't see lion, tiger, all of that.
No, we don't have those ones there. Because again, like I mentioned to you, as a group, we do not cage animals. If we are going to bring a lion there, we are going to have to cage it, and that detracts from what we stand for. Okay. And that's why we put animals the guest can interact with on a very close range basis. Yes.
All right, interesting conversations we're having here, and especially about giving you somewhere you can choose your holiday destination. I mean, from all that you've heard, Aqua Safari and the Safari Valley should be your holiday destinations to really enjoy your holiday, rewind and re-energize yourself. So if I'm just watching you and I want to be here for this Christmas, what else will I be getting once I get here?
Okay, so apart from everything we have seen, apart from the boat ride and all the horse rides and other things, we're also infusing a lot of other activities to make the time worthwhile and the time quite eventful. So we have a setup for the kids. We have to prevent parents from having to be directly involved with how the kids are being handled while they are here. We have nannies in place, we have activities for the kids, and so you can actually go and leave your child there and then go and have your time with your significant other, your spouse, your boyfriend, whoever it is you came with, your parents. There's that time or opportunity for you to bond. When it comes to activities for adults also, like I mentioned earlier, we'll be having the mangrove trips. By canoe actually. So we are going to give that experience to our guests to be able to take a ride into the coconut island to experience a ride on a canoe through the mangrove. That's such a close experience or a close interaction with the mangrove. We also have a lot of live musical performances. We actually have magical performances also slated for the season. That is a time where people are going to enjoy. When it comes to cuisine, for instance, you're going to enjoy some of the best local cuisine Ghana has to offer. And I kid you not, the best taste can only be found in the Safari Group, either at Aqua Safari or the Safari Valley. Go nowhere else. Whatever you have heard about somewhere else, well, I don't know. But I can tell you for a fact that if you come to Aqua Safari, come to Safari Valley, you eat and you'll be wondering if this was made by Ghanaians for Ghanaians.
I'm going to ask you something, but let me do this. Now, Sunday the 19th is the birthday of Anthony Akakpo. And Anthony Akakpo is a brother to the host of the AM show, Benjamin Akakpo. So, Anthony, Ben says, may the good Lord bless you with the best of life, love, and God's blessings, and favor you bigly from your brother, Benjamin Akakpo. And we also understand that today is the 70th birthday of my lovely Auntie Fosti. We thank God for your life, and God bless you and keep you, from nephew Nicholas Yamua. So that's from Nicholas Yamua, one of our guys in JoyNews room, to the Auntie Fosti. Today is your 70th. So Auntie Fosti, a happy 70th birthday to you. And that's why, so if I come here and I'm celebrating my birthday, is there any special treat from Aqua Safari?
Definitely, you cannot come to Aqua Safari.
And you heard from the team at Aqua Safari. That's the AM team telling you to have a holiday in Aqua Safari with all the serene and nature at its best that you'll be witnessing there. Let's get to other stories. Mining activities are expected to take off within the Nyenehin Forest Reserve in 2024, pending cabinet approval of a mining lease and parliamentary ratification. Mineral resource estimates conducted by Rockshore, a private entity that will partner Geadec to mine for bauxite in the forest reserve, estimates that the Nyenehin Forest Reserve is endowed with 375 million tons of bauxite in 3 hills alone. Presenting the report to President Akufo-Addo at the Jubilee House, Deputy Minister in charge of mining, Miraku Duka, said all is set for the government to carry through the controversial mining operation in the forest reserve. Latif Idris has more.
The initial plan to mine in the Nyenehin Forest Reserve became controversial the very first day the idea was mooted. The justification has been that it will accelerate Ghana's quest to build a viable integrated aluminium and steel industry. However, the pushback has been massive. Members of the Nyenehin community, civil society groups, and environmentalists have spoken strongly against the idea. Traditional authority within the Tunnel of Fame enclave in 2020, in a statement, accused Geadec of not being transparent as far as plans to mine bauxite in the area were concerned. But it appears government is having its way.
The Nyenehin range has 10 hills. Pursuant to the MOU, Mr. President, Rockshore was assigned 3 hills, that is hills 4, 5, and 6, to undertake mineral resource estimate in these areas. The purpose of the MRE was to assess the quantity and quality of bauxite resources available at these sites in accordance with international principles and standards. Mr. President, I am this afternoon, on behalf of my minister, happy to report that the MRE has been completed, and now we know the quality and quantity of bauxite in these areas. And we are, by this report, happy also to indicate to you that Geadec has collaborated well with Rockshore, and these 2 teams or institutions have the highlights of this report, and they will be presented soon to you, Mr. President. Suffice to say that the completion of the MRE paves way for us to move into the mining stage of the operation and present a promising opportunity for building an integrated aluminium industry here in our country.
CEO of Geadec, Michael Ansa, said the quantity of bauxite identified in the Nyenehin Forest and Range meets international standard and gives his outfit the confidence to approach financial institutions to help fund some projects.
Historically, we estimated that we had in the region of about 250 million metric tons of bauxite in the 3 hills we're talking about, that's hills 4, 5, and 6. Following the work that we've done now, we've been able to establish that we have a minimum of 375 million tons of bauxite in those three hills. 375, so a 50% appreciation. The other side of this is, having put that whole report together and identified the resource that we have, the next stages would be how we continue to develop it into a fully bankable project. We've done the development of all the project agreements relating to this. We're finalizing all of that. We're going to be establishing a joint venture company that will be owned by the partners, as in Rockshore and Giadec.
It is estimated that Ghana is endowed with some 1 billion metric tons of bauxite across the country. However, the environmental menace created by activities of small-scale miners has triggered what has been a spontaneous opposition to the exploitation of bauxite, particularly in the Nyinahin Forest Reserve. But President Akufo-Addo believes a successful implementation of the project will justify his decision to allow mining operations in the area.
You know, our role is to provide you the maximum support that you need to make sure that this whole thing becomes a reality. I think that if we're able to do that, it would justify completely our thinking, the whole Giadec concept, that we will find a state vehicle that will bring together all the bauxite resources of the country under one roof, and therefore strengthen the hand of that entity to enter into these various transactions and things.
It can now be said with a level of certainty that mining would take place within the Nyinahin Forest Reserve despite the opposition and the controversy. What remains unclear, though, is the footprint that will be left behind years after the mining company has packed out of the forest reserve. Latif Idris, JoyNews, Accra, Ghana.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Integrated Aluminium Corporation has disclosed the feasibility of mining about 500,000 tons of bauxite from hills 1 to 6 of the Nyinahin Range in the Ashanti region. It follows successful completion of the mineral resource estimate, underscoring major progress in constructing a bauxite mine with a refinery solution. During a visit to the Asantehene, CEO of the corporation, Michael Ansa, indicated the environment and social impact analysis has been done to ensure responsible mining. A report by Clinton Yeboah.
In executing Project 2 under the integrated aluminium industry, the Ghana Integrated Aluminium Corporation announced a significant surge in the estimated quantity of bauxite resources in the Nyinahin area in the Ashanti region. This was reviewed in the steps towards the realization of Ghana's national objective to add value to bauxite mining. CEO of Ghana Integrated Aluminium Corporation, Michael Ansa, announced a minimum of 375 million tons in the hills 4, 5 and 6 of the Nyinahin Range.
This is the mineral resource estimation for a significant part of the Nyinahin bauxite resources. And Rockshore and Giadec have been working together on the processes around how we begin to exploit the resources, develop an integrated plan, including mining and a refinery solution. Following all of this work, we've been able to establish bauxite reserves in the order of some 375 million tons in the hills 4, 5 and 6 of Nyinahin range. You recall that earlier on, Giadec had carried out a verification of the first 3 hills in Nyinahin, hills 1, 2, 3. That came to 116 million metric tons. So together we are looking at some 500,000 tons of bauxite from hills 1 to hill 6 that have been qualified in line with international standards. And these international standards are a very important thing that this has been, MRE has been done in terms of the JOG standard. And therefore that makes it a bankable project in terms of the standard of measurement that you can take to financial institutions as you look for resources to continue the project.
He made these statements in the presentation of the Minerals Resource Estimate results in Nyinahin Block P of the Nyinahin Hills in the Ashanti region to the Asantehene Otumfuo Osei Tutu II. Mr. Ansa said the mining feasibility studies have been conducted to ensure environmentally sustainable mining.
It's important that we recognize the important role that he plays in the Ashanti nation, as it were. We're mining in the Ashanti region, we're mining in Nyinahin. Before we started the project, we came to see him. During the project, we've continued to report and to keep him abreast of what is going on. But in line with that, another thing that's a major concern to all of us, and indeed to several Ghanaians, is the whole environmental husbandry, because we're mining in Tanwafin Forest Reserve. The work relating to the environmental social impact analysis has been done. All the issues around hydrology and biodiversity have been addressed, and this is going to be a very important thing that allows us to mine in a very responsible way. So that's a very important thing that I'm proud we have done this in line with international standards.
The Asantehene commended the management for their professionalism. He asked management to consider the company name Ashanti Bauxite. Reporting for JoyNews, Clinton Yabua.
Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono is alarmed about the security situation of the judiciary. According to her, recent attacks on judges and judiciary personnel are affecting justice delivery due to lack of concrete security measures at the court. Justice Tokono has further revealed that many courts across the country are still under lock and key as a result of these security breaches, and warns if the situation is not checked, it can create more destruction in the country. She raised the concerns during an engagement on public safety between the Judiciary Service and members of the Police Management Board.
We are looking forward to discussions with you on how prosecution can become efficient, how prosecutions can become efficient, how we can work together in training, especially in evidence gathering, evidence preservation, in cyber security issues. I am particularly nervous currently about fake marriage certificates, fake adoption orders, these kind of situations, and I'm glad that CID is here with us. I'm also particularly nervous about lotto cases. It may be something that's not quite known, but it seems as if our country leaks so much from a parallel shadow industry in the lotto realm. I'm told, for instance, that next door in Cote d'Ivoire, they are making millions of dollars from lotto. Here in Ghana, they don't even make 1 million Ghana cedis in a month. Even though every day, every evening when I watch GTV, I see different kinds of lotto. They are struggling because there's a shadow industry. It looks like there's shadow industries everywhere, and every effort seems to get frustrated in prosecution and adjudication. And so when the TV cameras go, I'm sure we can delve deeper into that. I've spoken, I think that Galamsey is another matter. Prosecutions in Galamsey is another matter that we can talk more frankly about. So let me just briefly touch on deepening the security around the courts. In recent times, we have heard of attacks on judges and attacks on court personnel, and so in your address you spoke about concrete measures. We can also be looking at concrete measures, little steps, big steps that can assist to ensure that those attacks are totally stopped, because our work is work that leads to peace. And if you don't have a court functioning in a community, then you are creating a space for more destruction rather than more solution. As we speak now, there are certain courts that are still closed because of the security issue.
President Akufo-Addo has called on his fellow African leaders and actors in the nuclear industry to harness nuclear energy to help address Africa's developmental challenges. He made the call at a gala dinner of the first ever U.S. Africa Nuclear Energy Summit and the International Framework for Nuclear Energy Cooperation Ministerial Conference in Accra.
Dinner organized by the Nuclear Power Institute of the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission in collaboration with the U.S. Department of Energy was attended by ministers of energy across Africa.
Ladies and gentlemen, today marks a seminal moment for the African continent in its journey of exploring the prospects of using nuclear energy for power. The outcome of this summit must propel the deployment of nuclear energy for power production in Africa, as the application of this technology holds the potential to expand our economies and improve the lives of our people.
Policymakers, technical experts, and influencers on nuclear matters. Having officially announced the inclusion of nuclear energy in Ghana's electricity generation mix last year, President Akufo-Addo indicated that Ghana's energy transition plan envisages 30% of electricity production from nuclear energy by 2070. He also noted that Ghana is critically analyzing the innovations in small nuclear reactors and their potential for rapid deployment for clean and affordable energy.
This week is particularly special to Ghana as she hosts this first ever Pan-African event focused on the future of nuclear power in Africa, on the theme, unlocking Africa's potential through nuclear energy. We thank the U.S. government through its Department of Energy for its partnership with Ghana's Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, the Nuclear Power Institute, and the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission. This strong commitment and position are geared towards the provision of clean and affordable electricity to drive our industrialization agenda. It's also meant to position Ghana as a net power exporter in the ECOWAS region through the West African power.
The president expressed gratitude to the U.S. government for the partnership in organizing the two ministerial events, and most especially for Ghana being the host of the first ever Pan-African event focused on the future of nuclear power in Africa on the theme, Unlocking Africa's Potential Through Nuclear Energy. On her part, the U.S. ambassador to Ghana, Virginia E. Palmer, reiterated the significant potential of nuclear power for the sustainable development of countries around the world.
I encourage all actors, various players, policymakers, technical experts, and influencers on the subject to consider positively the outcome of our deliberations and have dedicated approaches and pathways of introducing nuclear technologies into the African energy mix.
Asante Otumfuo II has asked chiefs to prevail on the government, including members of parliament, to account for stalled projects in the Ashanti region. Among these are the phase 2 of both the KJTR Market, the Kumasi International Airport and road projects, as well as the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital's maternity and children's block. Earlier this year, it was reported contractors had abandoned the project's sites over unpaid arrears owed them by the government. Addressing the Ashanti Regional House of Chiefs, the Asantehene said chiefs should not sit aloof but demand answers.
No, I can say Monsu idea near. So Metia me who's an animal pe concra call Mampenyo Kokasi and Yepewe.
Nananum, what are we also doing? I see a lot of chiefs going to the president for favors. Have we done the same for the airports and our roads? Let's ask ourselves.
contractor a man contract or buy and yet never chose the amount of contract now after any brand zone yet then Nisika Yamfama no what Busana Manakacho. And T Monana no yet not to our nose one yet Yansu ya said the NSA.
Monana not to our so Diana also said the NSA.
Oh, see, and see a cocoa tea being you catch as a Nanampa.
The regional minister has been appointed as caretaker, but what are we also doing as chiefs? We have to follow up to know what is delaying our projects.
The Yati, Mumen so young for one drain the house is a Musumbetuana Mone, Yako, Naman Penuno Safan. A dime see as a car come was here, the my inferior near for my regional house is a
We should know if indeed there is no money to fund all these projects. Let us also seek answers from government on why the projects are not completed.
Standing committee.
We must be visiting these sites to see for ourselves what is happening. But have we? No, we haven't.
We're still live on JoyNews Desk. Let's take a break. When we return, there's business. Welcome back to JoyNews Desk. Let's go to our earlier story where Occupy Ghana and the media coalition against illegal mining has called on the government on Parliament as a matter of urgency to enact an act that forbids the Minerals Commission from granting any mining or drilling permit, license or lease or any other associated activities in all forest reserves and significant biodiversity areas. It follows the Minerals Commission denial of a license request by a mining company to mine in the Kakum National Park. And we've been sharing that excerpt of that joint statement with you. I've been joined by Kenna Shigwe, who is Dr. Kenna Shigwe, who is a convener for the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining. I'm grateful for your time, Engineer Dr. Kenna Shigwe.
Thank you very much, Aisha. You can call me Kenna.
So the concerns are that we as a country are really interested in protecting, we are not actually interested in protecting our forest reserves. So would you blame any mining company for actually dreaming to mine in such a forest? I mean, a forest like Kakum National Park?
Well, I think it's the height of unpatriotism, is the height of irresponsibility of us as a generation, thinking that we should destroy everything that we met. You know, not taking into consideration the fact that there are generations that are going to come. And one of the things I intend to do is to go and find out who are the directors behind even this company that wanted to do this atrocious thing. But I don't blame them. I blame us. And I wonder how all of us as civil society, we sat down and allowed, government, Parliament to pass this environmental protection, mining in forest reserves regulation 2022. How did that happen? A regulation, that tells you that it's about environmental protection, but it now talks about mining in forest reserves. And then if you go and read section 3.2, it tells you that despite paragraph A above of the sub-regulation, the president may, subject to Article 256 of the Constitution, give approval in writing to a mining company to undertake mining activity in a globally significant biodiversity area in national interest. Which national interest? So it's really true. Aisha, your question you asked, you're spot on. It doesn't look as if we really want to preserve anything for the next generation. And we think that we should consume everything. So it's really something that all of us should really be concerned about.
Doc, you want an act passed to prohibit this act. But remember, passing the law is one thing and implementing it is another. And knowing the kind of country we all live in, you're sure this will do the magic?
Well, you see, the first thing to do is not to leave that window open at all, so that a company like that would say they are taking advantage of this, or giving the president the opportunity of saying that this particular area is in the national, is in national interest, so it should be allowed. So the first thing that needs to happen, and after this, apart from this press release, we are preparing memos to Parliament, asking them to revoke this regulation. Not only that, but they also should revoke the EI 144, the cessation of forest reserve instrument, also that was passed. That needs to be revoked. And then after we revoke that, we now need to put in place a law. At least if the law is there, if we don't implement it like the way we've not been implementing a lot of our laws and our policies, it then can give opportunity for you and I, as citizens of this country, to go to court if we see them continuing to do that. So it's not, I agree with you, it's not enough just to get the law passed, but it's a necessity that we need to get. And then we need to get everybody worried about the current state of affairs.
How do you intend to push this? At least
Yeah, so the next steps would be after this press release that we've had you help us, and I'm sure the President and the Speaker of Parliament would all hear of this. We're going to be writing memos to Parliament. And because of the EI as well, I'm pretty sure we also will be getting to the President. If that does not yield any results, the plan at this stage is to see how we can mobilize all Ghanaians. And we're thinking of doing it in twofold. So we're planning in my thoughts, and that what I've shared with my colleagues, we'll do a prayer protest. So it is prayer in one form, but it's also a protest that we carry our placards, have petitions that we take to government, asking them for this revocation. So we will definitely be getting in touch with the Catholic Bishops' Conference, the Christian Council, the Pentecostal Council, the Office of the Chief Imam, so that on a particular day we can mobilize all Ghanaians and let the politicians, let Parliament, let the executive know that we are actually against this, and really let them know that this is something that we would not, countenance. And then there are other questions that we need to be asking. What has happened to Akonta Mine? Who went into the Tanonimiri Forest Reserve, another forest reserve, and the destruction and the devastation that they've done? What has happened to Heritage Imperial, who were giving, were supposed to be doing prospecting, and they took several excavators into forest and destroyed all the land? What has happened? Why are these people not being prosecuted? So beyond just asking for the repeal, we need to be forcing them to take the examples of Otumfo or the other chiefs that are beginning to take actions, and we need to start seeing the executive also take action on this particular course of activities that is taking place in our country.
Dr. Kenneth Ashibe, I'm grateful for your time. We will only continue to fight and push hard and hope that it will get better someday. That's how we wrap up News Desk this morning. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to myjohnline.com. There's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories. See you again at 12.